So top AI stocks, top AI related. What's the top five?
Top five. Nvidia,
Top 5.
Palantir, Microsoft. I'll let you two fill in the other two. Pause if that's possible.
I'll say Taiwan Semi,
Oh, for sure.
and I'll say Broadcom.
Broadcom is still a sleeper.
I don't even know if it's a sleeper.
It's not
anymore.
respected enough. Nope.
Yeah, I don't know if it's at this point. I don't know if it even qualifies as a sleeper the way it's moving. Another company that's hit its all-time high.
Yep.
Is that 5?
Yep.
Okay. You got another one?
So I mean,
bonus.
AMD.
AMD. Yeah. I mean,
Dark Horse.
They said, you know what they told me? They said, thank you for fighting for AMD, Troy. After Ian kept telling us it's over, he said, you just kept fighting. I was like,
it's not better than Nvidia.
I said, it's not better. It's not better than Nvidia, but it is fighting. It is fighting a good fight.
There's nothing wrong. There's nothing wrong with being number 2.
You said what?
You can make a lot of money being number 2.
Y'all killed me for saying that.
Well, what are you talking about?
When I said it's okay, right? When I said it's okay with being number 2, y'all were defensive about it. I'm like, nah, in this space, it's okay to be number 2. You're like, if you're not number 1, that was your stance, that was Ian's stance.
I don't think that we killed you for it. I don't think we killed you for it.
No, I wouldn't say kill.
Not killed. Obviously, not killed.
I don't think we killed
not
you.
killed me, but y'all had some debative points about that stance. Not killed me. Obviously, I didn't kill me.
Yeah.
So you swung to the side of it's okay to be number 2.
But it's always okay to be number 2. Would you rather be number 1? Of course. But number 2, you're gonna make money if you're the second best basketball player in the world, you're gonna make money, right? You're gonna make money. You're not gonna be LeBron James.
I'll let you two go back and forth.
I'm aiming for 1.
Well, I'm saying we did the top 5.
I love all 5.
If given the opportunity, you want to invest with the number 1, of course.
Yeah, I'm not mad at that. That's always been my stance. But I would even say, especially if I'm looking at single equities, we always say if I'm looking inside the ETF, let's take the top 3. Like you've said that over and over numerous times. Look at the top 3 companies. Why? That's because that's where the money's moving. So I would even look top 3 if I had to. Not mad at them.
Yeah, I'm not mad at it. And for the record, AMD has been in my portfolio since 18, probably. They just have underperformed.
They still haven't gotten to their all-time high, but they are fighting a good fight. It looks promising.
Post-Saudi, though? Ooh,
Post-Saudi has changed things.
Power of relationship. I know this always gets brought up. They made the right move at the right time and took the slot that Apple should have had. Apple didn't make it. AMD did. It has went well for the equity ever since.
Yeah. So we got. I'll just add some sleepers. Obviously, we spoke about it. Micron's still in that space. It's going to be interesting when we talk about made in America, right? Like if that's the administration's stance in terms of manufacturing, in terms of artificial intelligence. If we look at the high bandwidth memory sector, right, which is what Micron's in, its 2 top competitors are not made in America. It's Samsung and it's Hyper NDX. And so if you're starting to look at where their factories are, I know they have one in Idaho. There's a plant in Idaho. They're doing one in New York. There's a clear path here for them to start leading in that space, which is why I like them as a sleeper. And then Supermicro, we can't forget about them.
Okay. Okay. Let's talk about Bitcoin, shall we?
Boom, boom.
Yes.
MicroStrategy just added another $530 million worth of Bitcoin in their portfolio. And Bitcoin is one of these commodities that actually is not at its all-time high, but has only had good news. It's been good news after good news after good news. So a lot of people are saying like, okay, well, if it's having so much good news, why is it not at 150,000? A lot of industry leaders, and shout out to everybody that came to the EY University event. I was talking to Austin, and he was saying like, a lot of the projections are 150 by the end of the year, 180 by the end of the year. So, okay, Bitcoin is getting adopted at record-breaking levels. Banks are buying it. MicroStrategy is buying it. How come it's not? How come its price has not reflected the amount of institutional buy-in that it's received over the last couple of months?
Honestly, I think it has reflected it. If we go back from April, it was at 74,629 and it got to 112,345. Like, I know people want everything. We're in the like memification of return cap tables where everyone wants 5 to 7,000% return. Going from 74,000 to 112,000, if you did that 3 years ago, you would be the second coming of Warren Buffett. So then it pulled back last week to 99, went up to 108. I think the return expectations that most people are having are too high. I think probably by September or October should get to 135.15, and then hopefully by January we'll be at 154.655. So I think it's on
a good pace,
a great pace and great return schedule. And anything that goes up too quickly, if it shoots up 300% over a 90-day or 120-day period, usually corrects half of what the gain was. So I would rather a slow and steady race of incrementally improving opposed to these big doom and gloom cycles where we shoot up to the moon and then it retraces back down. So I think it's actually on great pace for what it should be doing.
Yeah, it's interesting. It's kind of tough. We always talk about stocks and catalyst events, and it feels like crypto, the space has had a bunch of catalyst events, and so it's tough to just move on that momentum. Obviously, the Genius Act, which is waiting to go to the House to see where we're going to stand with that. That would be a huge one if the House passes it. Now we have legislation inside the crypto space. The Circle IPO I thought was huge in terms of stablecoin. You saw JP Morgan trademark the JP stablecoin, and so that's important. Visa obviously in that space.
Robinhood, Vlad been on this media run.
Vlad, I mean,
shout to Vlad.
Crazy. I'm glad you brought up Austin because we were having a conversation about what would kind of be the next catalyst point, and he was like, circle your calendar for July 22nd. The working group on digital asset markets, the final report has to be submitted to the president, and so let's see what happens around that. Does he sign anything into law, or does he sign anything in, or what is the momentum that changes from that date on? Because we've seen momentum move, we've seen catalyst events move it, and there's been like kind of trading sideways, which is fine. Like you said, that increase since the inauguration has been incredible. Let's see where we go after we start to see legislation actually getting passed and put in the law.
Yeah. Like Circle Group went from 298 and it's now at 180. I think the Circle Group is promising, but it's a prime example. It went from a low of 64 at IPO, went to 298, and now it's retraced over half of those gains away. Lockup periods for the investors pre-IPO matters a hell of a lot.
I'm glad, and this is what we spoke about last week when we asked, is it CoreWeave or is it Circle? Yes, it's both long-term, but do we go against our discipline and say, all right, we've watched these things go, or we're not investing in IPOs until 6 months because that lockup period expires, and what you're going to see is
a lot of liquidation.
Oh, we're going to liquidate this position.
Yeah. Public service announcement. I was invested in Bitcoin when Mt. Gox was a thing. So I know some of you trying to remix Chris Johnson and Michael Saylor strategy and then come at me to build your brand. I was in 2017. Matt Slitt, employee number 200 at Facebook, the Facebook at the time, told me to invest in Bitcoin. I'm not a Bitcoin maxi, but I want to let the record reflect. And then I lost my Bitcoin in the Mt. Gox scandal. But you can save all your think pieces on what I think about the asset because I've been invested for a long time. If I made you money, please put yes in chat.
And speaking of Bitcoin maxis, because
you can have XRP. We are new.
No. What do you mean?
I thought you was gonna go at the Bitcoin maxis real quick.
No. What at the beginning of the year, my two predictions, my two favorite investments was Bitcoin and MicroStrategy.
You did say that.
MicroStrategy's up $100 in 6 months, quietly. And Bitcoin is on a steady pace.